Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to artistcaleb's channel, a place where you sit and watch a fellow play video games and talk incessantly. We're carrying on now with the 39 steps in the soup. Saturday, 23rd May 1914, Wimpole Street, London. The story you are about to see is, well, it's just fiction, but the names were made up because, well, it's fiction, to protect the innocent. Oh, goodness. I woke up with a very strong case of heartburn. Whoa, crotch cam. Last night's pin the tail on the donkey got a little out of control. With arms wide open. The poor, staring white face was more than I could bear. And apparently the knife was more than he could bear. I staggered to a cupboard, found the brandy and swallowed several mouthfuls. But not because of the murder, it was because it was 5 o'clock on Friday. I had seen men die violently before. Indeed, I had killed a few myself in the Matabele War, but this cold-blooded indoor business was different. I needed to think. About Weekend at Bernie's. What did they do? His enemies had found him and had taken the best way to make certain of his silence. They put a sheet over his head. Scudder had been in my rooms for 4 days, and his enemies must have reckoned that he had confided in me. I would be next to go. It might be that very night, or the next day, or the day after, or 40 years from now, but my number was up all right. Supposing I went out now and called the police, or went to bed and let Paddock find the body and call them in the morning. What kind of a story was I to tell about Scudder? The odds were 1,000 to 1 that I would be charged with the murder, so I should go straight away to Lloyd's of London and place a bet. And the circumstantial evidence was strong enough to hang me, kind of like my odor. Wait, did I already do this one? Let's see, no change. Yeah, I already did that one, okay. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Few people knew me in England. I had no real pal who could come forward and swear to my character, or at my character. Perhaps that was what those secret enemies were playing for. They were clever enough for anything, and an English prison was as good a way of getting rid of me till after June 15th as a knife in my chest. If I told the whole story and by any miracle was believed, I would be playing their game. Keralithes would stay at home, which was what they wanted. I'm an ordinary sort of fellow, but let a woman in your life? Not braver than other people, but I hate to see a good man down, and that long knife would not be the end of Scudder if I could play the game in his place. You know, the 39 steps game, of course. Most people keep their books in a bookshelf. I just pile mine on the floor. Someone must have been searching for something, perhaps for the pocketbook, or Scudder, in which case they found him. It looks like. Alright, let's take a look around here. Pardon me. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. Mostly dead is slightly alive. With all dead, well, with all dead there's usually only one thing you can do. Go through his clothes and look for loose change. At least they had the decency to cover him up. The knife had pinned Scudder to the floor, like a butterfly. A beautiful butterfly. There was nothing in the waistcoat pocket. It's a boy! Keralithes comes to London. The Greek Premier pushes for Balkan resolve. Greek Premier Konstantin Keralithes is to attend London next month to discuss his recent call for a new international conference to resolve the ongoing tensions in the Balkans. Sir Walter Bullivant, Permanent Secretary of the Foreign Office, told this newspaper that Keralithes' visit is part of a new strategy to secure peace in the embattled region, securing stability in the Balkans and managing the claims of the various states. American agents, suicide by gunshot. Suicide coroner's inquest. The circumstances attending the death of Christopher Rick 29 Wimpole Street, Paddington, Bear, formed the subject of an inquest held by the Spanish inquest, which no one expects Mr. Rick was known by few in the apartment block, with neighbors describing him as a quiet sort of man. But let a woman in your life... Right. Well, let's tuck in that shirt tail. He used to have a knife just like that. Let's see here. Foreign money. There's some with birds and some with trees. Looks like a halfpenny? And a quid. Pro quo. Still nothing in the waistcoat pocket. Thought he was going to slip something there in the interim. The Life of Stonewall Jackson. We'll play some Civil War music here. Dun 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 dun. Napoleon trusted in his star, Jackson in God. Napoleon was a pure and simple fatalist. Jackson's motto was, do your duty and leave the rest to Providence. One was a great soldier of imperial genius, but no more. The other was a mighty leader, but an humble, faithful child of God as well. He accepted the lot decreed him by the Almighty Father with submission and a humble hope, believing that whatever God permitted was the best. Let us trust that all is well, and look beyond the storm, beyond the darkness, blood, and mourning of the present with a serene trust, or faith. Well, why they don't make them like they used to. Well, they didn't used to make books with blood in the corner, but, you get the idea. Alright, well, we got what we needed from his pockets, I guess. Let's look for some more clues here. What the heck? Is that Freddy the Freeloader? Red skeleton up there on the wall? Did you see it? Your Majesty. Regina! Sorry. Shut up, Caleb. You're not the first to make that joke, you know. Boy, they sure knew beards back then. Fancy lad. Like a junior. Fancy dog. Like a bark. Sir Barkington of Rough. What do we have here? Frickin' pen! Always with the frickin' pens! Gotta get a new pen, man! Jeez. Every time I uncap this stupid thing, my letter turns into a Rorschach test. So let's see here. There could be some clues. My bots are paying off the trachs, lower ear, and my shaves in the... See, look at that, up on the wall there. It's Freddy the Freeloader. It's totally Red Skeleton. Well, I don't see anything else here. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. The butler did it in a drawing room with a candlestick. There was no trace of Scudder's black book. Most likely the enemy had found it, but they had not found it on Scudder's body. I had come to a decision. I must vanish somehow, and keep vanished till the end of the second week in June. David Blaine at Dynamo might be able to help me with that. Then I must find a way to get in touch with the government people and tell them what Scudder had told me. It's a pretty nice place, except it's starting to look like a frat house. You know, what with the garbage laying around and the dead body. I wish to heaven he had told me more, and that I'd listen more carefully to what he had told me. There was a big risk that, even if I weathered the other dangers, I would not be believed in the end. I must take my chance of that, and hope that something might happen which would confirm my tale in the eyes of the government. Government belief time is about 6 months. He just has to queue up, fill out the proper forms, send them in with the proper amount of money. You know, it's a lengthy process. Alright, let's check this out. I'm slowly looking at this book like the RCA dog. Huh? My notion was to get off to some wild district where my Veldcraft would be of some use to me, for I would be like a trapped rat in a city. Veldcraft, by the way, isn't like German for welding craft, like Veldcraft. Veld actually means like open country, unenclosed country. I considered that Scotland would be best, for my people were Scotch, and I could pass anywhere as an ordinary Scotsman. And if I had to, I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more. I fixed on Galloway as the best place to go. It was the nearest wild part of Scotland, and from the look of the map was not over thick with population. I could probably find an Asda or Tesco to hide out in for a while. But first, a quick check to see how my stock is doing. Yes, London. Let's see here. Worth £7, 10p on Sunday. Sundays only. I don't know. How was I to make my way to St. Pancras train station? I was pretty certain that Scudder's friends would be watching for me outside. This puzzled me for a bit. Then I had an inspiration, on which I went to bed and slept for 2 troubled hours. It is pretty tough to sleep when there's a dead guy with a knife in his chest in the next room. At least that's been my experience. Half the block can probably smell the body by now. I say, is somebody making meth up there?
Well, no, but somebody certainly made a mess up there.
Waking up, I had a great revulsion of feeling, and felt a God-forgotten fool. My inclination was to let things slide, and trust to the British police taking a reasonable view of my case. Dream on. But as I reviewed the situation, I could find no arguments to bring against my decision of the previous night, so with a wry mouth I resolved to go on with my plan. I had been drinking rye, you see. I hunted out a well-used tweed suit, a pair of strong-nailed boots, and a flannel shirt with a collar. Into my pockets I stuffed a spare shirt, a cloth cap, some handkerchiefs, a ping-pong paddle, a magazine, and a toothbrush. I took £50 of it in sovereigns and a belt which I'd brought back from Rhodesia. Gotta go. I should probably do that in the toilet next time. Whew, this bathroom's not going to be safe for a little while, if you know what I mean. Whew, gotta air it out. Time to trim those nose hairs. Whoa. I tell you what, the older you get, they really build up. Now came the next step. Paddock used to arrive punctually at 7:30 and let himself in with a latchkey. I'll just blame Paddock. But about 20 minutes to 7, as I knew from bitter experience, the milkman turned up, because that's when all the husbands left, with a great clatter of cans and deposited my share outside my door. On him I staked all my chances. You know what? I haven't had a drink in like 10 minutes at least, so... I went into the darkened smoking room, where I breakfasted off a whiskey and soda and some biscuits. I start every day with Wheaties, the fermented kind, and distilled 2 or 3 times. Whiskey and biscuits. It's a breakfast of champion winners. By this time it was getting on for 6 o'clock. I put a pipe in my pocket and filled my pouch from the tobacco jar on the table by the fireplace. Oh no, wait, those are Grandpa's ashes. Hang on a minute. What's this? It's a smoking book. I keep a log of all of my tobacco. It seemed a good omen.
Goodbye, old chap.
Goodbye.
I'm going to do my best for you. Wish me well, wherever you are.
I'm right here under the blanket.
I hung about in the hall waiting for the milkman, because whiskey and Count Chocula just isn't the same. I was fairly choking to get out of doors. Baby step to 7 o'clock. Baby step to 7 o'clock. The fool had chosen this day of all to be late. And that wraps up this chapter. So I'll see you in the next chapter soon. All right. Bye. I'll see you then.